Welcome to Catholic Mom Mindset, a daily show where you learn to walk closely with the Holy Spirit so you can live the life God is calling you to. I'm your host, Sterling Jaquith. Let us begin. You guys, this is my 100th episode. That's pretty incredible. You can do hard things. You can do uncomfortable things. You can do things that you don't feel like doing because God asked you to do them. And I've mentioned this before, but this podcast was one of those things. I literally, you guys, already had 2 podcasts. I have the Made for Greatness podcast with Larissa, and I have the Made for Business podcast. I was not thinking about another podcast. I had no interest in that. And I just felt like God kept bringing up in my prayer life the idea of doing a daily podcast for Catholic moms. And I did not want to do it. And I did one of those like, that's probably not God's voice. That was probably just something I heard. I mean, I really tried to explain it away for a while. But it just kept dogging me. And so I said, all right, I'll do it. And I didn't really know what I was going to talk about. I mean, listen, talking is my superpower, so I wasn't worried about it. And since becoming a life coach, I feel like I have this endless amount of topics to talk about, but I just didn't begin it with the intention of knowing like, okay, this is what I'm going to cover. And really, honestly, most of my episodes are from my prayer life. I just sit and I pray and I say, Lord, what do you want me to share with them? But today I want to talk about doing hard things and being proud of yourself. In this case, the hard part for me is just sticking with it. So it's not difficult for me to hit record and do a podcast. And in my business, I'm at the place where I have an awesome virtual assistant. Shout out to Apple Grace. You're amazing. Who takes my video and then does all the things. The hard part really is just the commitment of it. And I knew that would be difficult. I knew that if I announced I was doing a daily podcast that I'd have to do it every day. And I'm really proud of myself for saying yes to the Lord. I'm really proud of myself for recording this 100 times. I'm proud of myself for sticking with it and doing it on time. I think one episode didn't come out on time, and it's just because we had said it wrong in the things. But for someone who has ADHD, recording something and putting it out on time every day is incredible. And I guess I just want to share with you the deep sense of satisfaction and peace that comes from walking closely with the Lord and doing what He asks. Just unapologetically obedient to the Lord. Even if you don't get anything out of it. Now, I always get helping everyone from doing this, but I don't know that this has made a significant impact on my business. I don't know that a ton of you are rushing out and joining my membership. This is really a service for the Lord. And that's okay. Sometimes we do things just because He asks us to. So, 2 things I want you to take away from this episode. 1, I want you to just be proud of yourself. Right? Like if we had a calendar tracker and we were able to list the number of meals that you fed your children, the number would be insane, right? The number of diapers you've changed. The numbers of, boo-boos that you've kissed. And you're doing it day in and day out because God asked you to. And I'm really proud of you for that. Right? I think Catholic moms are like the unsung heroes. Really all moms, but this is the Catholic Mom Show. You're doing it. Just the day-to-day work out of obedience to the Lord for your vocation. Because you could be a way worse mom. We all know that. We all know you could phone it in. And you don't. There's so many moments throughout the day where you could do a C-level job and you choose instead to do a B-level or an A-level job. Because you just want to. And I'm really proud of you for that. I want you to celebrate yourself. I want you to be proud of yourself. I think for a long time, I didn't know how to do that. And then I want you to know that you can do hard things. We live in a culture that's kind of scared of discomfort and scared of the idea of hard work. But I will tell you, it is deeply satisfying to embrace work. The books I read about heaven say that we will have work in heaven. We want to work. Now, there's lots of different kinds, and I think sometimes we do it in a toxic way or too much. But working itself is very satisfying, especially when it's the work that God has called you to. And when I stopped fighting that, when I really embraced both my business work and my work as a mom, it felt a lot better. So I just want to say thank you for hanging with me for 100 episodes. I want to thank you guys for rating the podcast and leaving me a review. It's really special to me. Right? I'm still just one lady and I read all the reviews and it's still very special to me. And I hope this podcast has helped you. I hope it has brought you closer to the Lord. I hope that if you were wearing glasses of the world that were smudged, that we helped you clear them up or take them off altogether. Because I want you to live with peace. I want you to hear God's voice. And I want you to have that deep sense of satisfaction of knowing that you're doing the work that He's calling you to do. Thank you so much for listening and have a blessed day. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Catholic Mom Mindset. To learn more about growing closer to the Holy Spirit, check out our free resources at madeforgreatness.co. Thank you so much for listening and have a blessed day.